Welcome out to Gatemen Postgame Live, everybody. For the final time of the regular season, game number 44 just wrapped up. Wareham took it 6-0 over the Cotuit Cavaliers. It ends Cotuit's season, and for Wareham, their season is just beginning. In this game, Wareham starting pitchers and relief pitchers only allowed one hit. Alex Destino hit a 2-run home run, and that's it. That's all we're going to talk about for this game. It's on to the playoffs for us and the players. Usual suspects on hand tonight. You know the names by now. Guys, I want us to go down the order, or go down the line, and give me one big thing that Wareham really needs to hone in on as the playoffs start approaching. Andre, we're going to go with you to start it off.
I'm going to go with secondary starting pitching. And because we know Brett Canine is pretty much unknown at this point. As I agree with what Matt said a couple days ago, that he is the best pitcher on this Gateman staff. But who comes next? Who is going to be that Game 2 and potentially decisive Game 3 starter? And what are we going to see from them? Because if it's going to be 3 innings of 2, 3, 4 earned ball, that's not necessarily going to cut it in the playoffs. It might against Bourne, a team that doesn't exactly thrive off of like the big hit and extra base hits, but against a team like Falmouth, they're going to be out really quick if they face them in the championship series. So it's going to be that secondary group of starters to me that's going to determine this team's fate.
I'm going to go with the bottom of the order. Can Adrian Tovalin hit home runs like he has the past couple of times, or is he going to be, one of the team's leading leaders in strikeouts for the playoffs? We've seen him struggle with the high fastball up and away. So, to me, Adrian Tovalin, will he be a power hitter or will he not be? Jonathan Pryor, will he continue to walk like he has been? 4 walks, or 5 rather, for the season so far since he's come to this Gateman team. And can Nico Giratano string together some key at-bats late in the game and late in the lineup as well for the Gateman team?
Matt, we'll go over to you and then I'll give mine.
Well, I'm going to go with the left-handers out of this Gateman bullpen, specifically Hogan Harris, Nick Sprangel, and Ryan Wilson. Looking forward to a potential matchup with the Falmouth Commodores in round 2. They've got Michael Gigliotti. They got J.J. Matijevic. They got 2 of the 2 best left-handed hitters, if not the best left-handed hitters in this Cape League and definitely in this Western Division. And those are 3 left-handed pitchers that are going to be relied upon to get those hitters out. Because if the Gatemen can't get those 2 guys out, there is absolutely no way that they're going to get past the second round, let alone win a Cape Cod Baseball League championship.
So my key is not centered on the pitching at all. I'm not concerned about this team going into the playoffs. I'm more concerned with the offense. And when this team has been on, it's because they've been able to string hits together. It's not a team that's going to just pound another one into the ground with extra base hit after extra base hit. This is a team that relies on stringing singles together. And when those singles start to dry out, the things start to get tough for this offense. You can see it in OPS. They're towards the bottom of the league in that statistic, despite being towards the top of the league in batting average. So for them to have success, they need to base run or run the bases well, and they need to string hits together at a pace that they're currently doing right now. Hopefully it's sustainable come playoff time. All right, guys, now give me your predictions heading into the playoffs. I want a winner of the West and a winner of the East, and who ultimately wins the Cape League Championship.
I'm going to go with Falmouth coming out of the West and a bit of chalk here, honestly, with Harwich coming out of the East. And I think Falmouth beats Harwich and to win the title this season. I think Falmouth is just too deep of a team offensively, and they can go toe-to-toe with Harwich's pitching staff. And I just think with guys like Matt, like you said, with Gigliotti and Matijevic setting the table at the top of that lineup. Gigliotti, we've talked about him all summer, is one of the most exciting players on the Cape this summer. I just think that team is a little bit too deep, certainly coming out of the West, and especially over Harwich.
I'm going to also go Falmouth out of the Western Division. That's not really a surprise here, but I'm going to go with the YD Red Sox out of the Eastern Division. I've been kind of the only guy that kind of supports a little hot take there, hot take touch. I've kind of been the only guy that thinks that the YD Red Sox kind of have a shot at going into the finale here. And, Scott Pickler, their head coach, he's won 2 straight championships. He's been there multiple times before that, and I feel like he can, talk to his players, tell them what to experience, what he's experienced here in the playoffs, talk about his overall, thoughts on Cape League playoff baseball because, they have good players. Their batting is solid, and their pitching is solid as well. They're not outstanding in either category. They're middle of the pack in both. And with Scott Pickler, Scott Pickler. I can't talk. I'm gonna hand off the mic. I'm not gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Falmouth to win. Jeffrey Passantino just dominant.
So I've been picking Falmouth all year long out of the West, and my pick will remain Falmouth. Over in the East, I'm going to go with a hot take, but it's going to have a little caveat with it. I say Brewster advances to the championship, but only if they make the playoffs tonight, and that is they have to have Chatham win tonight or lose tonight, and they have to win. So Brewster isn't even guaranteed a playoff spot at this point. I say if they get a playoff spot, they make the Cape League championship. So my backup plan, I'm going to say Orleans represents the East in the championship game. They're going to be the 3 seed. I really like how they match up against both YD and against Harwich. And I think Falmouth ultimately wins. So a little bit of chalk, but my East prediction, I guess, is my hot take.
Well, I'm picking the Wareham Gatemen, and this is not homerism because Jake Garcia knows I've picked them since the beginning of the season. And my one, I have a caveat of myself, and it's when Jeffrey Pasacino throws. If he throws in Game 1 against Hyannis, he would not be back in time to face the Wareham Gatemen in the second round. And that's huge because obviously the Gatemen have faced Pasacino twice so far this season, and he's handled them in this 14 innings of work against them. And so if he's unable to go and the Gatemen can come back with the option of either a Zach Pop or Nick Sprangel, depending on who goes in that potential Game 2 or Game 3 against Bourne. We saw some good arms out here today. Clayton Gelfand looks much better. I know he didn't face the toughest lineup in the world, but he's locating his fastball and his slider. And I think that presents a bit of an opening because we have seen, while the Gatemen have lost 5 of their 6 matchups with Falmouth, they've been reasonably competitive. They've been close games outside of the one romping that took place at Gov Fuller Field. But they've been 4-0, 4-3, 6-5 games. And I think if the Gatemen can avoid Jeffrey Pasacino, they're going to go to the Cape League Championship. And in the East, I'm going to take Harwich. Take the chalk. Chalk it up. Whatever. Chalk, chalk, chalk. And it's actually not because of the pitching staff. I'm going to take him because of the combination of Paven Smith, Ernie Clement, and Joe Dunand. In my opinion, the best 2-3-4, 3-4-5, wherever they hit in the order that in a row that we've seen this year. And I'm going to take Harwich to win the championship in 3 games, and that's just because, well, eventually because of their pitching staff.
I think the consensus is that Harwich and Falmouth are the 2 best teams, but the playoffs are unpredictable, and it's all about who gets hot at the right time. All right, one final thing, superlatives, and I just want one, the MVP for Wareham this season. You can give me a name and then maybe a sentence, maybe 2 sentences, but keep this quick.
A journalistic paragraph. Journalistic paragraph indeed. Joey Bartosik. This is a guy that has been here since day one and worked his butt off all season. I said this on the broadcast, but he's the type of guy that you want to play with. Sets the table at the top of the lineup, good hitter, great base stealer, has really done a lot for this team. And when this team was struggling, he was part of the reason they dug themselves out of that hole.
I'm going to go with another guy that's been here since the beginning, Robbie Metz. He's been the utility guy for this team. He's played left, right, center, second base, third. He's also pitched. He hits the bat well. He steals a lot of bases, 4th in league in stolen bases with 12. So he's done everything for Jerry Weinstein, and I'll go with Robbie Metz.
All right, Matt, are you going with the batting champ?
I'm not going with the batting champ.
Okay.
It's been fun to watch Colin Freeman play, but I'm not going to pick him. I'm going to pick Jake Mathis, who I believe has been a total stud for this Gatemen team. I mean, at the heart of their winning streak when they won 8 in a row and ultimately went 12-2-1 in their last 15 games, Mathis had 3-out, 4-out, 5-out saves, a lot of those in 1-run games against division rivals. One that really sticks out is Harwich back at Spillane Field. At Spillane.
That's an inside joke.
At Spillane Field a couple of weeks ago. But Mathis' ability to come in totally fearless and assume the closer's role, I think, in my opinion, he's the team's MVP.
Well, you're all wrong. Just kidding. It's an opinion.
Shocked you would say that.
Matt just hates me. But anyways, so my MVP was going to be Colton Shaver because I thought more would pick Cole Freeman. But I think Freeman has actually had the most impact on this team. Not only does he lead the league in batting average, but he leads this team in OPS as well, which is an indication that he's hit so many dang singles this year that it's propelled him and given him even more value than he actually has. And combine that with the fact that he can steal second base whenever he so pleases, it could be a double every single time he steps on the base pass. He's a spark plug atop the order. He plays good defense at second base. And normally I wouldn't say a singles hitter can take home an MVP honors, but he has been just that valuable for Wareham this season, and it's why he won the Thurman Munson Batting Award. It's the second straight season Wareham has had a batting average champion. So that'll about round it up for Gatemen Postgame Live. Everyone here, to all of you back at home, thanks for watching. We are on to the playoffs, and we will see you Friday night at Spillane Field.